Taiwan and Japan built a semiconductor island chain. It was seen as the world's strongest tech defense. Now, cracks seem to appear. In mid-July, Japan's Rapidus announced it successfully test-produced 2-nanometer chips. Soon after, the TSMC 2-nanometer key technology leak erupted. Tokyo Electron, a long-term TSMC partner, was involved. Tokyo Electron is also a Rapidus supplier. Will this strain Taiwan-Japan relations? Taiwan-Japan chip cooperation began in the 1980s. At that time, Japan led the chip industry. Japanese firms held half of the top 10 global spots. Taiwan's chip industry was new. UMC just started. TSMC was founded in 1987, unknown globally. But times changed. The 1986 US-Japan chip agreement forced Japan to open its market, and its economic bubble burst, causing Japan's chip industry to decline. Taiwan's chip industry seized this chance, rising with its unique foundry model. TSMC is the strongest, now holding 70% of the global foundry market. Japan lost its manufacturing spotlight in the 1990s, but still dominated behind the scenes. Japan controls nearly half of all semiconductor raw materials. Photoresist is key for etching circuits, and Japan holds 80% of that market. You might think that's all, but Japan also holds about 30% of the global chip equipment market, second only to the US. Tokyo Electron is famous. Its coding and developing equipment holds over 80% of the global market, nearly a monopoly. Over the past decades, Taiwan and Japan formed a silent partnership. Taiwan manufactures chips, and Japan supplies top-tier materials and equipment. Surprisingly, the cooperation scaled up last year. TSMC's new factory in Kumamoto, Japan, officially opened in early 2024. Beyond existing partners, TSMC teamed up with major Japanese firms like Sony and Toyota, who are clients and shareholders of the new factory. This ties Taiwan's chip manufacturing with Japan's key product demand and its strong materials and equipment supply into one shared destiny. Morris Chang himself flew to Kumamoto for the ceremony, showing its importance. Chang said he believes JASM will bring strong resilience to the chip supply chain. Media reported that the strongest Taiwan-Japan chip island chain is officially formed. Though Taiwan-Japan cooperation peaked, Japan simultaneously supported Rapidus, complicating the relationship. Rapidus was born with a golden spoon. It is a national team created by the Japanese government and 8 major firms like Toyota and Sony. They plan to mass-produce world-leading 2-nanometer chips by 2027. Rapidus CEO Atsuyoshi Koike clearly knows that getting large orders from tech giants like TSMC initially is a fantasy. So he chose to focus on AI startups. Their small orders can prove Rapidus's capability. It sounds like Rapidus won't conflict with TSMC, but their actions have never stopped. In June, Rapidus provided 2-nanometer samples to Broadcom for testing. They are also in talks with tech giants like Google and Apple. This clearly aims to compete for TSMC's clients. And there's more shocking news. In mid-July, Rapidus announced its 2-nanometer chip test production success. At this sensitive time, the TSMC 2-nanometer leak erupted. Prosecutors found 2 TSMC engineers responsible for 2-nanometer test production took over 1,000 secret photos and sent them to a former engineer who moved to Tokyo Electron. Crucially, Tokyo Electron is a decades-long TSMC partner and a Rapidus equipment supplier. Rapidus chairman Tetsuro Higashi is Tokyo Electron's former president. Also, media reported in late August that Rapidus's 2-nanometer process nearly matched TSMC's key metric of logic density. These coincidences suggest a link between Rapidus's breakthrough and the leak. Besides catching up with technology, Rapidus also plans to challenge TSMC's long-standing client relationships. The main buyers for 2-nanometer chips are US tech giants, while Rapidus is courting them. The trust built with TSMC over time is hard to shake. Rapidus is betting on a high-potential market that Japan feels confident about: next-generation automotive chips. This is different from traditional car chips. Imagine it as the car's superbrain, handling autonomous driving and smart cockpits. It uses 7-nanometer to 3-nanometer advanced processes now, moving to the latest 2-nanometer soon. To win this market, Japanese car makers formed the ASRA IC Design Alliance to jointly design the strongest brain for the next generation of cars. Their goal is to install these chips by 2030. Where will they be produced? In the short term, it's still TSMC, but the two key ASRA members, Toyota and its supplier Denso, are also founding shareholders of Rapidus. This means once Rapidus's manufacturing is mature and stable, these top auto chips can naturally shift from TSMC to the in-house Rapidus for production. At that point, Japan will have created a self-sufficient chip ecosystem for advanced auto chips, controlling everything from design to manufacturing. TSMC's impressive success has inevitably made it a target. Old rivals like China and South Korea are ahead, and allies like the US and Japan are also watching closely. As the saying goes, it's easier to dodge an open spear than a hidden arrow. And in business, there are no permanent friends, and TSMC faces countless challenges in this turbulent era. Rapidus is Japan's national team, an insurance policy for its future. Once its technology is ready, it may enter a direct fight with TSMC. Under huge geopolitical pressure, TSMC must ensure its technological lead while navigating political struggles. Perhaps we should ask how Taiwan can protect this sacred mountain from being torn apart by the chaos of the US, China, Taiwan, Japan, and Korea.